Welcome to Video Guys Live. They've renamed the Video Guy Newsday Tuesday show to Video Guys Live. We're live on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. And just as a note for those watching the shows going forward, we will now move the show from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Our audience has told us it's a better time, and we listen to our audience. We're moving to 3 p.m. Today, I have a super special guest on the show, Glen Seaman from Broadfield Distributing. Glen is the workflow
sales specialist.
Workflow specialist. So his job is to help dealers like me explain more complicated stuff that maybe I'm capable of explaining, give me some high-tech tips and stuff like that. And Glen is here to share a bunch of stuff with. We're going to talk about the new SDI Bundle special promotion, new trade-in program with the Mini 4K NDI, a new Surface for TriCaster TC1 bundles, an extension of a sale on the PTZ camera, which we have over here on the rig. And then we're also going to go into the NDI tips section at the end, where Glen's going to give us a little sneak peek at what he's done on our studio to turn our studio 100% NDI. So without further ado, let's jump right into the show. And if we could get a close-up of these two puppies right here. These are the new TriCaster Mini 4K NDI and the old, the TriCaster Mini SDI. Now the SDI, when I want to turn it, you can see there's the SDI jacks. And over here is the back panel. So when you look at the back panel, you can see it's a little different. We're going to go into that a little bit more. What we have that's really exciting is this puppy, the SDI, is now back at under $10,000 with the bundle, the whole SDI bundle special. Glen, tell us what's in that bundle.
Sure, you've got the, obviously the TriCaster Mini, you've got the control surface. It also comes with a nice little ruggedized carry case so you can pack it all up, take it on the road with you. That's the TriCaster Mini Advance, so you've got all those features. So it's a really nice piece. You've got the prices broken down there right in front of you, but it's a great combination for under $10,000.
And guys, correct me if I'm wrong, we did a show where we actually opened up our unit and showed what was in it and how it fits in the case and all that. So let's put a link to that show also when we're in the YouTube metadata. All right, now there's a new TriCaster Mini 4K NDI. Now, I had Dr. Cross on the show. You've been remotely on the show to talk about that. This is a completely NDI version of the TriCaster Mini. It's a little bit more expensive at $10,995 for a similar kit, but that kit also includes what I'm going to call a new improved control surface and that same great travel case. But there's also, comes with 2 input modules. Now those input modules are needed because, as you can see from this product, when you turn it around, Glen, can you turn that around please so I'm not reaching across you?
So there's nothing on the front of the face, no inputs. You've just got your audio microphones in, headphones out, and in the back you've got nothing. But if you get a real good close-up on these, you've got right here all of your NDI inputs.
Very cool. Now that product is available in several configurations. You can get the base Mini 4K for $89.95. You can get the bundle for $10.95. And then they have a Deluxe Bundle, which is kind of cool. It's going to give you the TC1 SP control surface, a more robust, bigger control surface, 2 input modules, and 2 of the PTZ cameras. And that comes into the $20K, and that's really a complete mobile studio for you, and that's $18,995. But wait, it gets better because NewTek is running a TriCaster Mini 4K NDI trade-in special. Now, a lot of people might be asking, what's so great about this special? Well, what's really great about this special is it applies to old, ancient TriCasters. They don't have to be running, they just have to be registered with NewTek, and we're going back to the broadcast, the studio, the Duo Pro, or the 100. So if you're a church or a school that's got an old TriCaster kicking around, you can upgrade to the very latest TriCaster with the very latest technology, and most of all, to NDI, which is really a breakthrough technology that not only you want to use because it makes things better, how much better is it for students to learn about NDI and the power of video over IP?
Well, video over IP is the future. There's two really standards out there, but NDI is really the one that's taking the industry by storm. It's very easy to use. It goes on existing network infrastructures, and it is definitely it is the way to go. It's also very easy, especially in a school facility. The thing I like to tell people is theoretically now any network jack on your campus at your facility can now be a place where you can plug in a camera and start bringing in video into your production.
And we did a great show together on NDI, so rather than going off too much on a tangent on that, watch the last show we did, watch the show I did with Dr. Cross to learn more about NDI. We're going to talk now about these specials. Can we bring these full screen, guys? You're going to get $1,000 off if you order the a la carte Mini, which while it's a la carte, it still includes 2 of the HDMI to NDI converter box, so you get 2 cameras in there, or $2,000 off the base bundle, bringing it down to $89.95, which is a tremendous deal. $2,000 is great, and that gets you the mini 4K, the control surface, the 2 input modules, and the custom travel case. So if you're a school, church, house of worship, small corporate, now it's under $10,000 if you could just find an old TriCaster that you used to have, which you probably have, and now it's time to upgrade your whole studio. Maybe you were saying, I want to upgrade my studio, but I got to rewire, I got to do all this stuff. No, you don't. You can just go with NDI. Use network cabling off the shelf. How easy is that? That was a loaded question.
Oh, it's very easy. I mean, you probably already get network cables. And again, if you're doing NDI, this guy especially, those network jacks have PoE on them. So again, you're not running power. You're not running video cables. You're running one cable from the back of this machine directly to your cameras. Your HDMI cameras will plug into the connects. And you're good to go.
So if you have the trade-in, obviously it's that much better. Now I just want to compare the 2 units. We're going to compare the 2 similar bundles. So there's the bundle with the control surface, the case, and the TriCaster SDI at $99.95 on promo. And there's the new bundle with the TriCaster Mini 4K NDI base bundle, which is going to include the control surface and that same case and 2 of the HDMI NDI converters. But tell us, compare, this is really why I got Glenn on for the meat of this, comparing words that the average person who this is aimed at can understand. What are the differences between these 2 products?
Yeah, so the core thing is first off to look at your facility. If you've got an existing facility, you're already running HD SDI, maybe you've already got other TriCasters in your environment, the Mini is the way to go, the SDI bundle.
With the spouts, with the spigots.
Spouts, right, because you're not going to have to change anything. The interface is the same, the functionality is the same, but again, you're going into an existing infrastructure. If you're starting out new, if you're building an outbuilding or you're doing something completely different, the NDI is the way to go. It's a much easier connection. It gets you into the system with very little configuration. They've done some nice things in the software to make it a little bit easier for people to get going in it. They've rearranged some things and made it much easier for people to get over some of the learning curves that TriCaster presents to you.
Yeah, it's got some streamlined interface. It's also got a feature that's really, really cool that I love. This is with the new one, and that is any phone now can be turned into a camera, so that your smartphone can now be a camera as a source into your TriCaster. Yeah. I think it's iOS for now, right? But there's an Android coming, or there's both?
I believe there's both now.
Awesome.
And think about the things you can do with that too in sporting events. You can now have kids running around with their cameras, getting extra little shots here with their phones, getting extra shots. So it opens up that whole infrastructure, that whole environment for you more.
Also, because the Mini 4K NDI is just basically a new product, it's got some bigger guts in it. It's got a bigger processor, better memory, better graphics and stuff like that. So it's a little more powerful.
Oh, the one thing I always forget, because it's so new to this also includes one stream of talk show.
Nice. Talk show is great. That was something that you had to get a TC1 to get built at the box. Right. So talk show is how I brought Glenn in remotely from Texas now. We bring our guests in remotely to the show. Very cool technology using Skype TX, and we're big fans of talk show. And also, the other thing I just want to point out that really is so cool about the TriCaster Mini 4K is it really is a direct plug attach system. So if you're setting that is future expandable, so you can get this puppy going, 2 cameras. It'll take you about 10 minutes to set the whole thing up. It's real easy and simple and straightforward. But now, if you want to grow into a full NDI bigger system, you can say, okay, I'm not going to use the direct attach jacks. I'm going to use a switch like we're using in our network, and it becomes a full-blown TriCaster with all the other cool switching and everything else that's available. So once again, the SDI, fantastic if you've got any kind of SDI internal infrastructure already there. If your cameras are SDI, don't reinvent the wheel, go with it. There's a ton of great SDI cameras out there. You might have screens or routers for your video that use SDI if you've got video playing in your church at the same time. So great deal at $99.95. Fantastic new product at $1099.95. And if you've got an old TriCaster, it's a no-brainer to take that upgrade.
People tend to hold on to them. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But for $2,000 in trade-in value, it might be time to think about it.
And you're giving, just so much has changed. If you've got one of these older TriCasters and you're going to get involved with this new Mini, you are going to be blown away, and your productions are going to go up. Not even to the Spinal Tap 11. You're going to 20 or 21. It's that much of a difference of how things have changed. All right, another special that's going strong, because we said this was the special show, is the PTZ camera. The PTZ camera has been raised in price in the past before. at $24.99, but that special at $21.95 is continuing, and this is just a phenomenal NDI HX camera for the money at $21.95. It is our single best-selling cameras. Now, we sell a lot of PTZ cameras, so it's not really fair to say. Some people have gray and white and different colors and different sizes, but this is our #1 selling camera. There's a reason for it, because there's kind of a home field advantage, like it or not, with the TriCaster, because NewTek makes both, you know, so it's always going to work a little bit better, a little extra feature here and there that's just going to put it over the top. You have one of these running in your studio?
I do.
How do you like it?
I like it. It's very reliable. Like you said, you know, I've hooked up some other cameras to my TriCaster, and you know they haven't gone.
You finagled a little.
Yeah, it took a little bit. Yeah, I had to do a little extra things. Nothing overly complex. Nothing anybody couldn't manage. But like you said, that extra little secret handshake that they've got between the company, because it's the same company, helps with a lot.
And the other thing I want to point out, and you said this to me when we were setting up stuff earlier in this studio, is with NDI 4.0 and the latest version of TriCaster software, everything's really become detecting and setup has it's really automatic for about 90% of the gear you're going to put on there.
They are using multiple communication protocols to really identify things. So it's really nice, and it's very close. I mean, a lot of what they're doing now is very close to what you do when you're in your home network, where you walk into somebody's house and your phone suddenly can realize, hey, there's my Chromecast, there's my Apple TV. It's using that same,
kind of handshake.
It's multi-DNS discovery that it's doing, and those type of things to make it really easy.
Awesome. Now, I want to go into some of the accessories, because they're always there, and they still work great with either of these two TriCaster, which are these NDI accessories to the Connect Sparks. We have the Connect Spark HDMI at $4.99 and the SDI at $7.95, but I want to talk about these two puppies because they're 4K. And with the new TriCaster Mini 4K, you can use either one of these converters in addition to the converter that's there to bring in additional sources. This is very cool. This is the 4K Pro, which gives you 60 frames per second, which is really nice if you're doing sports. But at $5.99 for 4K P30, the Spark Plus really, to me, is one of the best kept secrets in the industry. I mean, this is a 4K converter for $595, and you could take up to 4 of them into a TriCaster Mini 4K, or if you have a full TC1, you can have 8 4K inputs. And the people who need 60 frames are really the sports people or people doing like high-speed type work. But for the bulk of us, 30 frames.
Right, and
getting everything done.
Getting into a 60p camera is a whole other price point too. So again, there's so many things that make people realize that's the way to go. And you said yes, we can directly connect 4 of these up, to the system. Again, you can expand this out with a dedicated switch as well. Or again, you've got already 2 with the system. You've got 2 network jacks. So you could also go with 4K PTZ cameras, other types of input devices as well. Over NDI.
Perfect. Now we're going to turn speed a little bit to something that's happened on the bigger TriCaster line. This is the TC1 line. The TC1 was available with 2 and another control surface. So you had the the small control panel, which attaches to your TriCaster via USB, I believe.
Correct.
And they had the long panel, which was a $12,000 panel, which connected via IP, via NDI.
The long panel was USB 2.
And now they have the 2-stripe control panel, which is NDI, correct?
It's IP based.
It's an IP based connection. So that's really cool. So really now what they're giving is they basically substituted this. So any bundle that you had before with the long panel is now available with the 2-stripe control panel, which is really from their broadcast level VMC product line. So very cool. You get 2 toolbars, Ethernet connectivity, and then you also get just more buttons, and we love cool buttons, right?
No, and it's not just the buttons. I mean, the real way to look at it is the buttons, with the short panels and the other panels, the buttons kind of talk to the TriCaster. With the 2-stripe panel, the TriCaster also talks to the buttons. So over every single button, you've got a little LCD display. So anything you name, any inputs you name inside the TriCaster, that name will travel out to the
that's going to make training and teaching new people so much easier.
And the other thing that's really nice about it too, along that route too, is everything is assignable. So you can move, if you want to move your MEs down to the bottom set of buttons because that's easier for your production, you can do that.
Rather than having a specific area where MEs go to a specific part where your inputs go.
Yep. Cool.
Let's get into the bundle. So the TC1 has basically, the TC1 is a 2RU unit that's available for $14,995. You can get it with the small control panel for $19.95, or now you can get it with Oh wait, or there's the TC1 Plus, which is the 3RU with the redundant power supply available for $24.95. Now these prices haven't changed. We're just giving you an overall refresher on the bundles. But here's where the magic happens. With the 2-stripe control panel, now you're getting a control panel that has a $15,000 value rather than a $12,000 value, but the bundle prices are staying the same. So the TC1 with the 2-stripe control panel is $24,995, just like it used to be with the new one. Did you see that cool animation, folks? Let me show you. Bring it up full screen so I can show this to the folks. You guys worked hard on this. It looks cool. Bam! There it is. All right. Let's go to the next one. Leave this up full screen. These are all the TC1 bundles now that all have the 2-stripe control surface at the same great price. So we have the Select, which is a 2RU with the 2-stripe. We have the Plus Select, which is a 3RU with the 2-stripe. We have Deluxe, which is the 2RU with the 2-stripe and the NC1 Studio I/O module, which gives you more I/O. And then we have the Max, which is a TriCaster TC1 3RU NC1 Studio I/O control 2-stripe panel at $30.95. Now, really, that used to be called like the Max Super Deluxe or something that was, I believe, $5,000 more. So really, at $39.95, if you're looking for it, that's a great deal. Now, folks, just like we went over that upgrade before, if you own any old TriCaster up to a 460, 455, 860, 8000, NewTek offers a whole trade-in matrix for you. Now, the trade-in matrix, really, leave that full screen for a while, guys, because there's a lot of words up there. It depends on what you own
and where you're going.
So you have to give your dealer both sets of that information. Now, you can call us with that, or you can also call your local dealers to help you out, because sometimes it's a little complicated on what's the best thing to get and where the values are. And the matrix doesn't always stay stable. They'll change it sometimes based on I don't know what, but sometimes, you know, they'll give you a few thousand more for some combination, a little bit less. So one of the things that we want to, where's my U.S. map?
Oh, your map disappeared.
I want to stress that while Videoguys has all this information here too, we've got a bunch of dealers we're friends with all over the country. If you're looking to get a TC1 trade-in complex system with a whole new infrastructure, you're going to go maybe from your HDMI or SDI, you want to go to NDI and everything, there are local NewTek dealers all over the country ready to help you. And if you don't know where they are, you can't find them online, give Videoguys a call still. We'll still talk to you about what we're thinking about doing. And then actually probably what we'll do is we'll reach up to Glen, the Broadfield Distributing guy, and he'll help you find a local dealer. So you're going to get that local love if you need it, if you want someone who can install it and train you and do all these good stuff. Because while we love the TriCaster here and we use it here for our show, we do understand that it is a complex thing to get up and going. And if you can have some local help, someone can hold your hand, train your people, you can get up and going that much faster. So once again.
And every install sometimes is unique. There's, a lot of times you got to look at, okay, what have I got in my infrastructure? What can come forward? What do I want to replace? So there's lots of good reasons to talk to.
Right, like we're going to show a go-to switch that we're putting in our studio, but we're not telling that that's the go-to switch for every situation. But we are going to talk about those situations. So let me go back a little bit and tell you what we have. Glenn has spent a lot of time with the folks at NewTek saying, we got to hammer out and come up with a switch that's good enough that we can tell people for a basic getting started TriCasters. That's not just a TC1, but a basic solution, 3 or 4 cameras plus some other NDI gear. What's the best switch to get to? And Glenn's done some research, and what do you recommend at this point?
So right now what we switch to is this is the Luxel. This is it's a 12-port, 8 PoE with 8 ports of PoE. So it's a really powerful switch. The reasons we chose it is if you click on that. So again, it's 8 ports, all the ports, it's a total of 12 ports, 8 ports with PoE, total 130 watts power delivery. So that pretty much means we could throw a camera, a PoE camera on every single one of those ports and have enough power to power all of them. It's got a 2 gigabyte, it's got 2 uplink ports. So now what we've done in our case, and we're gonna do a whole show on this, I know, but we've uplinked that to the house over one of those ports, so that still leaves me 8 ports for my camera. It's got SFP ports. It's got a great 3-year warranty. That's a biggie because a lot of the switches, don't have that same warranty, and it comes in a rack mountable or a smaller version as well. So we went with the rack mountable one. And
one of the things I wanted to stress is when we were doing this, we really looked at it. I said, I know there's cheaper switches out there, but I don't want someone to get a switch that they outgrow or that they call us in 3 months because they added that one more camera and it becomes a problem. So I really said, what is a switch that can handle where our studio is now, where we want to do the refresh that we are launching now live, and where we want to go with what we want to add in the near future. Because one of the things we said we're going to want to add is we want to be able to enable having a TriCaster, a Wirecast gear, or another NDI device that may not to be operated by me as part of the show. So as an example, we'd like to be able to get the Bird Dog PTZ camera in here and have me operate the PTZ cameras at the same time. But I can't go taking the cameras that the guys are using for the show and messing them up, so we'll probably put another camera in that would just be for the demo purpose. So I really love that we found this. I gave you a budget of $500, but we actually found this online at Newegg for what, $369 or $379, I believe. So
sub $400.
I think it was sub $400 delivered with tax and everything to New York. So to me, that's a great product. Like Glenn said, it's available as both a rack mount or what I'll call a sit on your desk mount, the more smaller configuration. We're going to do a complete show on how we re-upgraded our network to this switch and our whole studio. And then we're also going to say, once again, the parameters of this switch and this studio is a basic studio, 3 or 4 cameras. Maybe you're in a gymnasium, you want to do like basketball and volleyball games. You're in a church where you want to have 3 or 4 cameras in the church, and maybe bring up some lyrics and some hymnals and some graphics and stuff like that. So it's not for everything, but it is a great starter switch for a basic type configuration that we feel it's going to take you a little bit of time to outgrow. You're not going to outgrow it, in the first time you add one more piece of gear to it.
And we've got, when you put your 4 cameras on here, we're still going to have 4 ports available to us. So that's the other nice thing. You bring lots of toys in here. The last thing you want to be doing is, great, we want to throw that PTZ controller on there. We got to unplug one of your cameras. You've got the ports for it. When you're out there doing productions, you also got to think, like you said, you want to bring in these other graphics. That's more network connections that are going into those ports as well. So it's very scalable for what you want, and I think it's great for small schools, sporting events, anybody that's doing at least 3 to 4 camera productions.
Which really fits in with where we started the show today, which is these 2 products, the TriCaster Mini 4K and the TriCaster Mini SDI, available in bundles now, $9,995 for the SDI on promo through the end of March. And we have the TriCaster Mini 4K NDI, which is $10,995. Now that's for the complete bundle with the control surface and the travel case to compare apples to oranges. And best of all, you can save another $2,000 if you've got an old TriCaster. So Glenn, thank you for coming on the show. Are there any words of wisdom, pearls of wisdom you want to give for our viewers before we go?
We went through this yesterday with the guys. We were doing some training as they did a great unboxing video. We did some training. The one thing we came back to is let's buy cables. Let's buy the right cables. Let's make sure let's not cheap out on those silly little things, because that will bite you.
Your weakest link will be your weakest link.
It's the cheapest thing
and
to
you will
solve.
go live at some point, and it'll get you crazy. Audio cables, especially a great hit. Go cheap on audio, and when things start crackling one day because someone moved to the left and moved to the right, it's just real important. If you got to get started on a budget, we get it. But then immediately start upgrading to better gear. You won't regret it. Glenn, thank you so much for being on the show.
My pleasure.
All right, guys, let's talk about what we have coming up on an upcoming show. And the big change, and that is Videoguys Live will now be the new name of the show, and we will be live Tuesdays at 3 p.m. Give us 20 to 30 minutes, and we're going to teach you about all the great new products that we sell. We're going to teach you about new technologies. We're going to teach you about things that are going on in the industry events, and things like that. So we're real excited about that. Next week, I'm going to be out of town going on vacation, but the guys are going to be doing EDU Roundup with products for live productions and streaming in schools. And we thought that was real important, because in public schools, you guys are putting your budgets together now. So we want to let you know what's out there. Then on February 25th, the guys at LiveView are coming in. Dan's coming in to talk about the 5G myths and why cellular bonding is still going to be going strong for years to come. And of course, why LiveView is the #1 choice for cellular bonding. Then March 3rd, we're back with Ask the Video Guys. You guys keep giving us questions. We love them. Those shows are getting some of our highest reviews and feedback from people while they're watching the show. So very cool, very excited about that. And once again, Video Guys, it's no longer Video Guys Newsday Tuesday. The new name is Video Guys Live on Facebook, live on YouTube. Tuesdays at 3 p.m. You give us 20 to 30 minutes. We're going to teach you about all the cool new technology in the world of video streaming, video editing, video production, and video storage. I want to bring Glenn back in and thank him again for being on the show. Glenn, thank you so much for being on the show. This is Gary from Video Guys. Watch us on Facebook, watch us on YouTube Live, like us on that social media stuff, share the tweets, share the love, help us grow our audience. We appreciate it when you do that. Give us your comments for the Ask Video Guys show. We're out of here. Peace.
Video Guys is available Monday through Friday. Give us a call at 1-800-323-2325. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram to stay connected with all of our updates. And you can like us on Facebook. Keep an eye out for our live videos, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.